This is an overview of the Squeeze Post Grid by Unlimited Elements. Let's get started. To get started, drag the Squeeze Post Grid into your Elementor column. What this widget does, it presents your posts in a grid format that is used for portfolios, for example. Or you can use it for anything that you see it's suitable for. I'm going to take you over the settings and show you how you can customize this to your website needs. The first thing I'm going to show is the post queries. This decides how many posts to show inside of your layout over here. So for example, you can see maximum post is set to 3. I'm going to set this to 6, and now we have 2 rows of posts that you can choose from. Over here we can choose which post types to show. Right now it's showing posts, which is the most popular, and you can also include by terms, which is actually post categories. So you can select categories or exclude certain categories from your selection that's showing over here. This is called post queries. You can also order or change the order by order direction to show the posts in the order that you want to show them. And you can use this advanced query ID option. Let's jump into our general settings and see what we have over here. So first of all, we can change the column count. Right now we're seeing 3 columns in each row. Let's change that to 6, for example. And now you can see there's a lot more over here. Let's change it to 2. And what's important to understand is that this is a responsive setting. So if I'm jumping into tablet, I can change the setting to 1, for example, and then I'll see just 1 in each column. Let's jump back into desktop and turn it back into 3. Over here we have also an option to change the gap. So this is how it looks without any gap, or I can make my gap bigger. Image height, so you can determine how high each image item is, and it adapts to any image size. Let's jump into style. Inside of style, we have the squeeze size. So the squeeze size is actually the top and bottom border that's being added once you hover over an item. So you can see it's adding 50 pixels up here and 50 pixels down here. I'm going to push it up to 100 just so you can see the difference. Now it's a lot bigger, and maybe you're going to like this kind of style. So you can play around with that. Let's go for something in between, let's say 70 pixels. Over here we can also change the color. So right now it's actually the same color as the background color, which is kind of nice. But if you want, you can also change this to a different color. And now when I'm going to hover over each item, the squeeze effect has a color, which is pretty cool. Let's jump into items, see what we have over here. So we can make the items rounded using the item radius slider. We can add a border to our items and change the color of the border, of course, and the border width, for example. So play around with this and see what best suits your needs. Each item has an overlay. So right now the overlay opacity is 20. And when you hover, it's also 20, so it's not changing actually. But let's push the opacity over here, for example, to 70, just so we can see the change. And now when I hover over a box, it actually shows more opacity for the overlay. Awesome, so that's for overlay opacity. Going to switch the opacity and opacity on hover, so we have less opacity when we're hovering. Over here in title, we can change the title color, title typography, and title spacing if you want to just push that down a little bit. You can also change the spacing between the date and title like that. And the last thing that I want to show you is actually the advanced option over here in content. You can click edit widget HTML, and down here if we scroll down, you can see this is our title, this is our date. And the same way that we've added these two, right here on the right side, you can start adding any field from the post. Even if you have custom fields, you can add these to your post grid. So if you're interested in learning more about the widget creator, jump into our website and search for post list tutorials. Thank you for joining the tutorial, and I'm going to see you in the next video.